Hi, it's so nice that you're here to quickly get brainted with me. I'm your host, Laura, and welcome to my Mindful Storytelling podcast. Hi, so nice that you're here again. If you're new here, just wanted to tell you that I'm interviewing myself and I'm doing these episodes in English to improve my English skills and maybe reach more people. So don't judge me, it's not my native language and I'm still improving. So yeah, for today's episode, I thought let's talk about our inner child and how to reconnect with it, and especially how to overcome inner fears. So let's begin. What does it mean for you to reconnect with this part of yourself, and why is it so essential? Well, that's a question I hope I can answer in one episode. I would say our inner child represents this pure and unfiltered version of ourselves before, life's experiences shaped our beliefs and fears and just got fed with this maybe misconceptions and just build up this scarcity. I have the very deep impression through self-reflection and all that kind of stuff that reconnecting with my inner child allows me to identify and often address my limiting beliefs, like living in survival mode instead of creative mode. So I think it's crucial because opening the doors for personal growth and a fulfilling life, living in this balance with my inner child, which ultimately leads to inner peace. I have this feeling because of your teaser that inner peace and inner child is not connected in your state of mind right now. Is it? Because you mentioned that our beliefs are often formed early in life and often leads to a problematic kind of behavior. So how do you recognize and reprogram these beliefs that might hold you back? Well, first of all, I have to identify the beliefs that no longer serves me. For example, money management and a healthy relationship with money. I did not learn it at home. So my inner child, this protecting angel, is always throwing the biggest tantrum if it's about financial problems or financial discussions. Once recognized that. And then the challenge was to reframe these beliefs logically. But how are you logically reframing as a child? So it always involves consistent effort and using techniques like positive affirmation, visualization, and mindfulness to reshape, our thinking patterns. Easier said than done, but yeah. Okay, wow, that's interesting that our inner child tries to keep us safe within our comfort zone. So you're saying that the inner child is a little bit the problematic voice in our head, that we are not seeking discomfort and not outgrowing our comfort zone. So basically, it holds us back to truly achieve things within our reach, right? Yeah, you can say that, but inner child is very positive, but I come to that later. All right, so how can you reassure and work with the inner child while still pushing the boundaries, like how to stay safe and at the same time seeking discomfort? I have the feeling loving and acknowledging our inner child is vital. So we can reassure that its intent to keep us safe while explaining that growth and change are necessary for our well-being is just the way to go. And for an example, you would never try to squeeze into your childhood clothes, right? You would always buy new clothes, bigger clothes you don't know and you've never seen before, but you try them. And if they fit, you are comfortable in them again. And why shouldn't you do the same thing with your inner health? And that leads to that you shouldn't restrict your mental growth just because you don't know it and you don't want to try it. But as I said, our inner child is standing still very often and tries to keep us safe. At the same time, it wants to have fun and wants to discover new things, and maybe we are judging it too early. But I have the feeling that many people didn't really ever try to reconnect, and that's why they're standing still. So do you have some practical practices how to nurture the inner child? Well, yeah, I have. I researched a little bit, and the most common are the following. It's about creative expression. Don't limit yourself not being creative. It doesn't matter what you're doing. We are humans, and humans are creative in every way. You have the basic understanding how to be a perfectionist and at the same time let your creative juices flow. So there are rules, but also there's so much room to grow. And that's the perfect comparison for your inner child. So you just have to teach your inner child the rules, but allowing it to playfully live the life. For example, have a coloring book. And it's maybe such a stupid example, but especially vivid colors, our eyes love to play with them. Or have something that you can build with your hands and just create beautiful artwork. So self-talk also plays a big role. You're practicing positive self-talk by looking in the mirror and saying affirmations like, I am loved, I am worthy, or I'm enough each morning. And these affirmations can reinforce positive self-image. And also try mindful play. Visit a local park and swing on the swings. Don't be a weirdo, but try to do that. I love to do that as well. If there is nobody, or maybe it's a cloudy day and there are no children around, and I just love to sit on swings and swing as high as I can and just feel the wind in my hair and the sensation of flying. And I always have to grin and laugh so much. So it's a beautiful, positive experience, just as I did as a child. And of course, if you want to run around barefoot in the park, then just go for it. They're gonna look and they're maybe gonna judge, but they'll be gone in a second. Intend to have fun, and that's the most important thing. And then have your inner dialogue. Set aside time for meditation and have a dialogue with your inner child. Like, ask questions. What are you afraid of? And how can I make you feel safe? And then just listen to the responses that arise and offer comforting words. Like, I got you. I can hold you. I'm holding my hand and feel this inner connection, and everything adds up, and I will feel this fulfilling, peaceful moment. And you have the healing visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a serene, safe space where you and your inner child can meet and run around. And you don't have to run around in the real world barefoot. Just run around at least in your thoughts and picture yourself hugging and soothing your inner child, assuring them that they are loved and protected. And sometimes people find that very discomfortable to imagine themselves and hugging themselves. And many people don't have an inner monologue. I guess that's very hard then. But I have the feeling that this is what makes us us, because our past selves, they are built of our childhood and our teenage years. And self-love is so much more than to just be in the present moment and just love yourself in all the kinds of soothing ways there are. So you need to travel in time, and you need to travel back in time in your mind and just try to catch these moments that were painful, and maybe you felt alone, and maybe, this very crazy example, maybe you wished that there was an adult just catching you while falling, and you can be that adult. You can be that grown up person that just holds your hand and tells you, hey, you know what, it's so okay that you feel that way. I learned not to self-feed this problematic feeling, but it's okay that you feel it right now. And together we can figure it out. And I don't want to make a very specific example because there are many problems for many people. The range of problems is so big that it would be so naive of me to even consider that I can make an example that will help you now. But I just want to reassure you that it's totally fine if you're meditating and you're traveling back in time and you see a problematic scene from your childhood that you remember, maybe fell down to the floor and all your friends laughed at you, and then afterwards you cried in the bathroom all by yourself and we were like, it was so mean, are they really my friends? Just go back in these times and just go there and visit your past self and tell yourself, it's okay, I got you. I tell you how much you've grown and that you left these friends behind and that you have one of the first friends now or whatsoever. So yeah, that's a specific example, but honestly, I didn't want to do it, but it was so much easier to do one. Yeah, and just practice that. then there will happen a self-care ritual that you can create, for example, around bedtime. If you have trouble to sleep, you can always travel time in your mind, try to pick maybe beautiful moments, and then you just can relive them and fantasize about the other place that makes you more peaceful. And sometimes that puts your mind at ease, and then you can fall asleep more calmly because you're focusing on something that had happened and you know what the future holds. And then there is the last one, just an example. Many people find so much relief with journaling. So there's nothing against it to maybe have a journal book about your inner child. And so you can pinpoint maybe specific problems you had, and then you have them in writing, and you can slowly and carefully break down maybe your childhood emotional traumas that maybe were caused by yourself. For example, having the wrong visualizations about certain problems. And it doesn't have to be very traumatic. It can be like money management, that you're feeling that money is bad, for example. And if you would visualize money as a person, and you would imagine that person is like your friend, it wouldn't be your friend. It would be a very bad person. You would feel intoxicated by it. And that's what your inner child learned. And then we're standing still. And sometimes this is how our subconscious works. It has a reaching point where everything just stopped, and you're just feeding that more and more, because our first years as a child are so crucial. This is where our subconscious and the conscious is growing and is the most susceptible. So everything that we're feeding there will stay there if we are not doing anything against it, if we're not reprogramming, if we're not working with it, if we're not allowing those thoughts to come and go. Find words by journaling, and they will come to you. Maybe you will wake up one day, like in the best case, and then you will know this one sentence you have to write down. And this is going to be maybe the one moment that you will perceive that very feeling, and you will know, this is it. This is my problem. This is what's holding me back. So yeah, just write down any insights, memories, emotions that come up during your inner child work. And let me tell you that this is going to be the best interaction and experience with your inner child. Well, that's it for today about inner child and exercising and exercises about reprogramming it. So maybe it will help, maybe it won't. Let me know in the comments and in the QA section what you thought, and maybe I can learn from you as well and spread the word. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.